Hey guys and girls, French per here. So, Lepic. Lepic got buffed quite a while ago, and yeah, he got buffed thanks to a Blazing Zone, which, as you can see, I got a pretty decent roll, okay? So this video is going to show how to use Blazing Zone effectively, bring enemies together so you can just wall them, just kill them with your sword. It's really that simple. I would say it's a good team play build. You're not going to carry games, but you're going to have fun and you're going to be useful. You're going to do your part, okay? Especially speed wise and setup wise. If you set up correctly and you're ahead of your team, you can always make sure that a bunny or anyone who has a super high single damage target, or I would say 1 square meter kind of super high damage attack, they can just strike at the middle of your number 3, okay? So let's just go into the build. Oh, so obviously I'm using both swords, okay? This one mostly for the boss, and this one, you know, for mobbing, just because it's really cool. And yeah, I will go over a few facts meanwhile. I mean, this one I like to use the ability for movement to get from let's say one spot to another, than from my number 3. I don't really like to use the ability to do damage, because it doesn't really do a whole lot more damage actually. It's more like a range attack more than anything. Okay, so Blazing Zone first of all. So every time you use your number 3, it's going to spawn, and so instead of doing 0 damage, you're going to do decent damage, okay? So mobs are most likely going to die if you also use your sword at the same time. Here I went with Firearms Master to buff my number 4 ability, so it's going to get a skill power increase and also a skill critical hit rate increase when I use it, this one, okay? So I use my number 4 at the very end of a Void Vessel, for example, and at some other occasions too. Then we have just enough health to not die, okay? Very important against final bosses and all. Skill extension. Okay, so finding the sweet spot is really what I tried here, okay? So Blazing Zone will last approximately 4 seconds. So what you need to have, and check this out, if the duration is 2.7 seconds and you have around 5 seconds, it matches, okay? It's perfect. You can spam it, because if you use it too early, Blazing Zone is not going to trigger, okay? So which will be sad, because it will not do any damage at all, which is why you really have to reach a sweet spot in terms of cooldown with this build, which is kind of cool. Other than that, I kept skill concentration, skill insight. Every damage mod here does buff Blazing Zone, okay? Just so you know. So make sure that you have enough damage here to do enough damage with this. Yeah, skill expansion for range, very important, and yeah, focus on fire, emergency measures. Yeah, just the usual. Now for the Reactor, I want to skill critically damage a skill cooldown. Singular because well, I'm going to focus on this ability, which is singular, okay? And Blazing Zone is, I think, based on singular, but I'm not very sure, okay? I might be wrong, maybe just a level 5 Reactor of anything will do a better job. But okay, for the sword here, we have 6% melee weapon ATK, the dual, and skill cooldown minus 4% to really reach the sweet spot for Blazing Zone, okay? Then we have Arche tuning. Here I really took some time to make sure that I want to do the best thing possible, and this is what I came up with. So multi-hit damage, making sure to grab everything, then you know, some ATK here, ATK here, ATK here, boom. A little bit of skill power, because why not, and some critical hit rate and critical hit damage on the way. That way I can do good with both swords, which this one will mostly rely on critical hit damage, and this one will mostly rely on consecutive attack damage, okay? So very different swords. Now the inversion reinforcement. So I went with electric focus rounds, don't ask me why. I don't really use guns a lot. Actually, I should go with shield because my gun is shield. When I went with an HP node and another HP node, it's just a decent combo to have more HP and to survive longer. Okay, now for the guns, first a failure, I guess. I would say go with heal from your dog, but MP isn't bad either. It's quite useful. Yeah, okay. So for the shadow. So the shadow, I went with a very specific build, okay? So let's show you the stats first. I think it's quite important. So the critical hit rate been quite low, but just don't rely on it. So I was able to get 81% of consecutive attack chance and around 5.4 consecutive attack damage, okay? This I did, by using some modules here for critical hit rate, such as battle. Oops, which one? Oh yeah, exquisite strike. Okay, gives you more chance, and that's pretty much it. And some damage here, and yeah, also factors Arche tuning as well. Some players like to go with critical hit damage twice, then they go with critical hit chance for the third one. Here, I'm talking about the red walls. Personally, I thought that having 81% was enough, and wasting a core to add some critical hit chance when you can get that close, and when you can instead have 104% critical hit. Sorry, I'm talking about this. Sorry, consecutive attack damage. Okay, most players go with consecutive attack with a chance, to get more possibilities to do it, which basically lets you reach the cap of 100%, which to me, as I mentioned, you're really close to, or like 19% away. However, I have 81% here and an extra 124% consecutive attack damage. Okay, so max damage again, max DPS. That's almost my signature at this point. Yeah, other than that, you can screenshot the build if you want. That's really hard. A build that lets you reach, I would say, max speed, attack speed with your sword, and max possible damage you can have. Okay. Also useful to get the shields. I would say use the dash to get to the shields, while your ability to the rest. Yeah, for this one, well, if you haven't seen it yet, that's my max amount of fucking DPS. 70 million with this one. That's my boss killer. So yeah, looks massive, does massive damage, and a whole bunch of crits. And yeah, with this one I also tried to reach a sweet spot as well. So almost 94% critical hit rate and 10 times critical hit damage. So massive damage. Yeah, and again, without using a critical hit chance core, without wasting one, all pure damage. Okay. So yeah, see you next video. Thank you for watching. Have fun playing Lepic. I think it's great in the team and quite useful. Bye bye.